So this is where we left off last time, where we have the different visualizations. So far we have page views, device category, and the channel groupings. And if we click on an action link button, we get the action link here, page views, then another action link called device category, and if we click it, we get the visualization back into our application. So what we want to do now is we want to create a sidebar over here where we have an icon, and if we click the icon, sidebar appears here. And instead of these action links appearing below the last panel here, we want to populate the sidebar with the action link so the user can choose what visualizations they want to display inside the Shiny app. So for this, we need some CSS for the sidebar and also some JavaScript. But first, we'll do a bootstrap grid, and what we'll do here. So first, we'll give it a class, and we're gonna say row, and another class of text center. And then after that, we have our grids. So we'll say, so this is of size 3 on a small screen, and then we'll do this for medium screen and large screen as well. And then next, we'll have our application header. This one is going to be 6 wide. And for the H1 header, we can say Google Analytics dashboard. And here we have the last grid, also 3 wide. And then here we'll have an action link. We give it an input ID of open, and this action link is going to be an icon, so there's not going to be any label. And then for the icon, we'll say icon equals shiny icon, and we'll give it the bars icon. And then if we click the bars icon on click, we have to define a JavaScript function called open sidebar. So we're going to do this later. For now, we're just gonna put this into another div and give it a container class. Now we're gonna continue here. And here we're defining the sidebar. So we're gonna have a div, and then we'll say ID equals entire sidebar. Then we'll have another div. Let's say give it a class nav and also an ID of menu. And then in here, so the sidebar is going to have a black background. So in here we'll say H1 charts, and then we'll give this a white color. And then after this one, we'll have an action link, which is going to be another icon. So if we click this icon, we're going to close the sidebar. So the input ID, let's call this close. Again, we're not going to have a label. There's going to be an icon. So we'll say shiny icon. It's going to be the times icon. And then again, we'll have another function. And we'll call this close sidebar. So now let's define these two functions, open sidebar and close sidebar, here in our JavaScript file. So we'll say function open sidebar, and then in here we'll give this div a width when we click this action link or the icon, the bars icon. So we'll say document.get element by ID. So we're going to get the menu ID, and then we'll style the width and say that's 250 wide. And then we'll do the same thing, except if we click the times icon, then we close it, and the width is going to be 0 again. So we'll save this, and then we're going to create a CSS file, and in this CSS file we're styling this div here. So let's grab the nav class, and here we'll say the height is going to be 100%. We're going to give it a background color of black, as we said. Opacity is going to be 85%, and then we'll say top 0, width is going to be 0, right is going to be 0, and then let's give it also C index, so the sidebar is on top of the visualizations that we have currently on the page. So we'll save this as styles, and then we have to include this here in the app. So we'll say shiny, and then we'll use the include CSS function, the here package, which goes from the project directory then into the GA dashboard folder, and then gets the styles file. Now we run it, and then we have here the h1 header. Here we have our two action links, which are the bars icon and the times icon. So if we click this, this should appear, and if we click the times icon, it's going to disappear. Now we're going to go into the styles one in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to say position equals fixed. Going to go into the app again, and then going to click on it, and boom, the sidebar appears. So we can put a transition in there, say transition of 1 second. Now we run the app, and if we click the bars icon, it slides out, and then it slides back in again. So what we can do now is we can style these. We can style the action link, the action link with the open ID and the close ID. So we're going to do the open one first. So we'll say open, I'm gonna give it a font size of 36 and a color. Let's do a grayish color. Then we're gonna do the same for the close one as well. And if we run the application again, we have this one, but the font size it's still small. Let's try it again. Now we have it bigger. Now the only thing is that we have to do is we have to put this icon maybe over here. So what we'll do is we'll go here into here and we say position is absolute, margin left is gonna be 50, and then top, let's say 0. Now we run this, we'll open it, and then what we'll do is we'll say right is 0. We'll run it again. And now we have it here. Let's actually say give right 25. Let's open it. Okay, that looks decent. We just have to get rid of the times icon. And what we can do is in the styles here in the nav, we can say overflow X is hidden. We'll save it. And then it disappears. And what we also could do is here inside the scripts file, we can say open, and then if we click the open ID, then we'll give the bars icon opacity 0, so it's going to disappear. So we'll say click function, and then what we'll do is we'll say in here, we'll say open.css opacity 0 is 0. And then we can copy paste this. And then if close is clicked, open gets the opacity of 1 again. So if we'll save this and we'll click this, it's going to disappear and it's going to appear again. We can do the same thing, just the other way around. So if we click the times icon, it's going to disappear. And then if we click the open one, the times icon is appearing again. And it disappears. Okay, so I think this was everything for this video. For next video, what we're going to do is we're actually going to populate now the icon, the sidebar with the different action links. So instead of them popping up here, they're going to be here in the sidebar. And then if we click on them here in the sidebar, the visualization's going to be in the application again. And then what we also can do is we can modularize the sidebar to make it more clear and break the application up in more pieces so we can debug it more easily. And again, this tutorial is on my blog. There's a link in the description below that you can click and you can read up on it as well. See you next time.